What's up? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day number 10 of the One Funnel Away Challenge. My team just reminded me tomorrow I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm gonna be like, anyway, but today's day number 10, so congratulations. Hope you guys are excited for today. I hope you've been keeping up with all of the assignments and the tasks and all the stuff. Today we're gonna talk about one of my favorite things, one of the most profitable and probably the simplest thing you can possibly do inside your funnel to make more money. And it's called an order form bump. I'm pumped for this one because this is, as you will see here in a minute, the order form bump for a lot of people is the thing that will actually cover all of your ad costs. So when you start buying ads, this little thing right here, it's literally one of the greatest inventions. You're going to love it. And so I'll tell you guys kind of the backstory behind it. Back before ClickFunnels, back when we were hand coding everything, when we first started learning about funnels, me and everyone who's kind of figuring out this game and this science, we all got really, really excited. And so we started trying to make, initially we were selling a product, we made a product with an upsell, and we're like, what if we did two upsells? What if we did an upsell and a downsell? And eventually what started happening to funnels, and those who remember this is probably, 12, 15 years ago, you'd go to someone's product and like, hey, here's the product you'd go buy, right? And you buy it. And then they'd have an upsell. And if you said no to that, then they'd have a downsell. And then if you said yes to that, they'd have another upsell. And you said no to that, there would be a downsell. And if you said no to this downsell, there'd be a third downsell. If you said no to this one, it would take you back to this one. And then this one would be here. And then there'd be another upsell. And then if they said no, there'd be a downsell. And then here, there'd be another upsell. And then here, and it was this huge thing. And people started nicknaming this upsell hell. Like you get in this thing, you're just like, I can't get out of it forever. In fact, I remember people started filming themselves buying people's products just to show how annoying it was. Like, look, I went through this thing. It took me 4.5 hours to go through the entire sequence before I got to the thank you page to actually get the thing that I just bought, okay? And at first, anyway, we didn't, it was different. There wasn't social media back then. So we didn't get immediate interaction from our customers a lot of times. So we didn't know they're upset, that they were angry, they're happy. We didn't know those kind of things like we do today. Nowadays, within 15 seconds of you doing something, the world knows thanks to social media, right? But back then it was different. And so it was hard. And so we didn't know what people liked or didn't like. We thought, man, the more upsells we make, the more money we make. So let's just keep adding more and more upsells. And that's what a lot of us did. And I remember, some of my friends, they actually made this software. It's actually review software where you put like a little code on your thank you page, and when the customers got done with the process, they would pop up and say, hey, how was your experience? And they would rate and review you, right? And I remember because I was out to do a product launch, my friends had launched this new software, and they're like, hey, Russell, before you launch your software, put this on your thank you page. They said, in theory, after someone buys your product, it's the time they're most excited about what you have. This is the best time to gather reviews, so put it on your thank you page. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. So we put this thing on the thank you page, and we did the launch, and people are going through, they're buying the things, like all this stuff's happening, we're making a bunch of money, I'm all happy. And after about a day or two, I asked the guys, I'm like, well, how do I see the reviews? I want to know what people are saying, like if they're happy, like whatever. And I get to the reviews, I start reading through them, and people are livid. People are like, I came to this thing, I was excited about this product, by the time this is done, I hate you, it was, the customer happiness level was so low after going through this gauntlet of offers, that it was interesting. I may have made more money in the short term, but nobody was going to buy from me again, okay? And so there's this balancing act with marketing where you're always trying to figure out how do we optimize, make the most amount of money possible without annoying the customer, making them hate us so they don't buy from us again in the future, right? What good is it getting a customer, selling them something if they never come back again? Right? You guys know my whole thing I teach everyone with the value ladder, right? You come in, you go and you buy one of my books, you get the book, you read the book, you have an amazing experience, you want to go back and you buy again, you buy again, you buy again. I have people now who bought for 10 years plus from me, right? Because they have good experience at every single step along the way, right? This One Funnel Away challenge for $100, we have tried to insanely over-deliver. We're 10 days in, you've gotten 10 days of live training, right? Like, it's crazy because we're trying to over-deliver at this point. It's so high, the customer satisfaction is so high, that you're like, what's next, Russ? Like, that experience was amazing. What's the next experience? I want more of this, right? And so that's what we're always looking for. And this process, while it increased the amount of money we were making in the short term, it decreased our customer satisfaction, which meant people weren't buying from us. So in the long term, we made way less money, okay? And so it was interesting because so I started coming back and I said, okay, well, I'm not going to do all these things. And I started making my own personal rules. And everyone's got their own personal rules. But for me, I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. In the future, I'm not going to do any of these things here. I'm going to get rid of it. And I kind of set a limit. I said, the most I will ever do is two upsells. If you go through my funnels, you notice that's all I do. I don't do more than that. And the reason why is because, again, I can make more money by doing this huge gauntlet, right? But then customer satisfaction goes down and they're less likely to buy from you, and your lifetime value of customer goes down. Okay, so for me, my personal belief is we sell a product and we can have two upsells. And that's That's it. That's all we do. Okay. We've done a lot of customer surveys in the last decade since then. And this has kind of been the sweet spot for me. When I go through this process, we make enough money we can pay for ads, right? But there's not a big decrease in customer satisfaction. Most people go through this process and they're pretty happy at the end of it, okay? They're still likely to buy again in the future and keep moving through with you. So that's been my kind of personal guiding line, right? And so that's what we did for a long time. Now, part of me obviously misses like the extra income from different things. And so one time, this is probably 15, 16 years ago. I can't remember how long, but it's been a long time. I remember I had my funnel, and it was like I told you. There was an order. There was a sales page. There was an OTO 1. There was an OTO 2, and then there was the thank you page, right? There's the funnel, very similar to what we're building with you guys over this challenge, right? And this became the funnel I used over and over and over and over and over again. And I remember one time I went to somebody's page. I can't remember who it was. It was somebody selling a supplement or something off of an infomercial. And I remember going to the page and seeing it. I was going through the process. I was buying the product. And they did one thing that was super different and interesting. What it was when you come in here and you start filling out the credit card, right? So here's your credit card. You fill out a credit card. Between the credit card and before the actual order button, they had this little block in here. This little block had a little offer, and basically a check mark saying, yes, add this to my order. And I remember seeing that, and I was like, whoa, what is that? Like, that's insane. Like that's the coolest thing I've ever seen, right? The marketing nerd in me who like funnel hacks everything was like, what are they doing? How are they doing it? And it was interesting because at the same time, I geek out trying to see how people are marketing stuff. So not only did I go through their online sales process, I actually also called the 1-800 number. And the 1-800 number is interesting as I heard the sales presentation on the phone. The guy would on the phone who answered would do the sales presentation, sell me the product, and then they start offering these other things in here. And I remember I later asked one of the guys who ran the call center, I was like, how does that work? And he called them bumps. He said, you see, on the phone, we do these things called bumps. When someone comes in, they buy something, we try to bump them and we give these other offers, right? Like rush shipping. Do you want 2 for the price of 1? And they just do these little bump offers throughout the thing. And so I started looking at this, and I kind of nicknamed this thing an order form bump. I was like, this is like a bump on the order form. And so that was kind of the idea. I didn't know how to do it back then. Back then this is pre-ClickFunnels, so everything was custom coded. It's custom coded shopping carts, custom coded landing page. Everything was so hard. It was so frustrating. I remember showing my tech guys, I'm like, we need to do this thing right here. And so they went in, they started coding our pages. It took them weeks and weeks and weeks to code the pages. And I remember the very first time they coded it, they actually had this order form bump thing up here, like up higher. It was like order form bump, and then credit card, and then button. And I remember we did that and ran it for a while. It did okay, but it wasn't like shocking. And I'm like, we're not doing it the same way. Like, if we're going to funnel hack someone, we're going to model what they're doing, we need to model what they're doing. I said, the thing that we miss, what they're doing is they're doing it in a certain spot where after somebody fills in the credit card, but before the button, right? So they've already found their wallet, they've already came over, they started typing the credit card. So they've done the hardest part of the sale, right? They got those things in there, and now before they get the submit button, now it's like, hey, do you want to add this thing to your order real quick? And people are like, oh, sure. And they click the button, and it added it. Okay, and so we added that little piece in there, this little tiny order form bump. And this little thing is literally magic. I remember the first time we did it, we were getting 60% of the people who came through our funnel to buy this thing. Now, those numbers fluctuate up and down. Back then, it was such a new thing that it was just crazy. Like, more than half people always took the order form bump, and that changed the dynamics of my business forever. Okay, like I was mentioning a little bit earlier, this little thing right here, this little extra special offer, typically actually covers the cost of my advertising. So my Facebook ad spend comes in here, they get the offer, this covers my Facebook ad spend, and this is pure profit. Okay, which, how many of you guys like pure profit? Yeah, we all do, right? The order form bump is magic, and it's one of the coolest things ever. I always think about it. How many of you guys have ever been to the grocery store, right? And you're going around, you're buying stuff, and you're getting your cart full, and you get to the end, you start walking, and you go to the checkout line, you're standing in line, and you're waiting. There's 3 or 4 people in line. You're sitting there, and you look over, and all of a sudden, you see what? You see the candy bars, and the gum, and the Tic Tacs. You're like, oh, Tic Tacs are amazing. You're like, they got the orange ones. Like, I think they're breath mints. They're probably healthy for me, but man, they're orange. They taste like candy, and you grab the orange Tic Tacs, and you put them in your cart. Right? No-brainer offer. Just like, oh, like you'd be a moron not to buy the orange Tic Tacs when you're in the sand, right? So you grab those like, duh. And you look over there and you're like, oh my gosh, National Enquirer, 300-pound baby was born last night. Like, what? Like, this is insane. And you're like, and there's another one, right, about whatever, like all these crazy things. You're like, oh, like, I know that it's all fake, but like, it literally is like, I think the third highest circulated newspaper in the world. There's got to be some truth in it, right? Like, oh, and you just grab it and throw in the thing real quick, right? And you go through. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. Somebody told me this, and so this may not be made true, but somebody told me that if you look at a grocery store, right? People come to the grocery store and they're buying everything, like hot dogs and bananas and all their things, right? They said that the profit from a grocery store actually happens in the checkout line. All the other stuff for a grocery store is a loss leader. The profits come from grabbing the TikToks, the Snickers, the National Enquirer. Like, that's where the profit in a grocery store comes. Okay? And so I was thinking about this. This is like the checkout stand. Someone's going through, they already bought the thing, they went and got the hot dogs, they got the cotton candy, whatever they came to the grocery store for. They're checking out, and it's just like, oh, do you want this too? Like, yes, I do. And it's the no-brainer offer. Okay? The reason why I'm telling you is this is because some of you guys are going to try to overcomplicate this, and you're going to make this super hard, complicated. I'm going to make this offer. It's going to be so complicated. It's going to be so hard. It's going to be so difficult. Okay? I don't want you to make it difficult. It needs to be simple. Okay, it's got to be a no-brainer. It's got to be like, yes, Tic Tacs. It's got to be, yes, I want the National Enquirer. It can't be like, hey, I've got this course. It's going to teach you blah, 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 and this is why you need it, and this is important, because you've got like one sentence to sell it. Okay, so it's got to be a no-brainer. So the question is like, well, how do you create a no-brainer offer? Like, what does that offer look like? Okay, especially if the offer is going to sell for, $27 to $37, it's got to be something that's so simple that there's like, oh yeah, I want that too. Okay. And so we talked about this on day number 1, and some of you guys freaked out by it because you're like, I don't know how to do this for myself. But what I like to do with my product right here is what we call a framework byproduct. Okay, someone's coming here, right? They're buying your framework for $7, whatever you price it for, right? So they're buying this thing like, here's the perfect webinar, here's my weight loss plan, here's the whatever, right? They're buying your thing, they're buying your framework, and they're coming through here. This right here is the framework byproduct. Okay, do you remember me talking about this on day number 1? I read you guys a little clip from the book Rework. And in Rework, they talked about this concept. He talked about here, he says, if you've got the book, it's on page 90, it says, sell your byproduct, right? It's talking about when you create something, there's always a byproduct, right? Talking about lumber mills, when they're making wood, there's sawdust, right? And so you can just throw sawdust away, but it's like, wait a minute, what if we sell the sawdust? Like is there a business there? One of the stories, I can't remember if it was in this book or somewhere else, they talked about this coffee company that was making coffee, and they were like, had this big production, and they were selling the coffee and stuff, but the coffee always came in these big brown bags, right? And they were throwing these bags, like hundreds of bags a week. And one guy was like, these bags are like actually kind of cool. Like, what if we took these bags and started selling them? And so the bags that they were throwing away, they started selling them, and that business became as big as the actual coffee business because they were authentic, cool bags that looked amazing, right? And so you think about with your business, whenever you create something, there's always a byproduct of you making it. Okay? One of the examples talked about there is music, right? Musicians, they go and they write a song. What's the byproduct of them writing a song? It's all the backstory of what they did, right? It's like, how did they come up with the song? How did they get the ideas? How do they do all these things, right? And so it's like they went and captured the story and make a documentary of like, here's us creating this music, and that documentary became the byproduct. And a lot of times it's even more valuable than the actual thing, right? I think about in one of our products we have is called High Ticket Secrets. We teach people how to sell super expensive things on the phone, right? And we first off did that. We were doing that for a long time, right? We figured it out. And in the process of us doing like selling high ticket things, we had to do a lot of things. We had to get lawyers to write contracts. We had to get we had sales scripts. We had agreements. We had all these kind of things, right? And so someone coming here like, you want to learn how to sell high ticket? Yeah, I'm going to buy the product. That's amazing. That's amazing. It's like, oh, by the way, we spent like, I don't know, $2,000 getting these contracts built for our clients. If you would like, for an extra $37, I can give you those contracts. That way you don't have to go talk to a lawyer to get them. I'll just give you the contracts right here. Boom, like a no-brainer. That's like Tic Tacs. Yes, I want the orange Tic Tacs, right? I guarantee you, like, prices of orange Tic Tacs are going to go up across the country now because of this session right here. Just kidding. But that's what we're looking for. Is like, what is the byproduct? We call it the framework byproduct, the byproduct of the thing that you're trying to sell. That is the sweet spot. That's the thing you're looking for to sell here inside of the order form bump. Okay? So that's what it is right here. I've got a couple slides I'm going to show you guys before. Today's session is going to be a lot shorter, which is kind of fun for all of us. It means you can get to work quicker, but also the homework's pretty easy as well. But if we can pull up the slides really quick, I want to show you guys a couple really quick examples of how powerful this is, okay? So right here, as you guys can see, this is an example. This is actually the first order form bump inside of ClickFunnels. And this is the coolest thing when we were building ClickFunnels. Again, we used to custom code this every single time. We custom code it. And this one time when we were building ClickFunnels, I asked Todd, I was like, hey, when you build the order forms, can you add an order form bump element or something so we can just do order form bumps? And he did, and that's how order form bumps have become a thing. right? Prior to that, there was like 2 or 3 people who knew how to custom code these things. And after putting ClickFunnels, now everyone's had access to Order Form Bump. And I want to show you how powerful this is because I've been talking about this for 5 or 6 years now, telling everybody, you have to have an Order Form Bump. If you hate money, don't do it. But if you don't hate money, you need to have an Order Form Bump, okay? So this is an example, if you can see one. Someone comes in, they're putting their credit card information, and between the credit card and where they actually click submit to buy the product, this is where we throw in the Order Form Bump. Okay, so for this one, this was the original .com Secrets book that I pulled this image from. So I'm selling the book, right? It's this book right here. And so I wrote the book, everything, and then the byproduct of the book, I actually read it. I did an audiobook. I sat in a studio for a day. I read the entire book. I got the audio, and that is the byproduct of the actual physical book, right? So I was like, this is really cool. Someone's buying the book for free plus shipping, but I'm gonna throw in the audio book for an extra, what was it here, $27 or $37 at the time. Okay, and look at the copy. The copy says, yes, I want the audiobook, right? And there's a little check mark they have to click on. It says one-time offer, only $37. You want the new audiobook version of .com Secrets book plus a bonus unpublished chapter showing you how to get unlimited leads in any of your websites? If so, click yes to add this to your order for just a single payment of $37. This offer is not available any other time or place. Boom. This little offer here when we first launched it was converting at 60%. 60% of people bought my book, paid an extra, what do we say, is it 27? Extra $37 to get the audiobook. Do you remember me talking about this, I think, on day 1 or day 2? I said people will spend more money for the exact same thing packaged in a different way, right? Now, is there anything difference between the text version of .com Secrets book and the audio version? No. But the perceived value is higher, right? Because here I said I got to read it, where this I can put in my ears, I can drive around, and I can just listen to it, right? So perceived value is higher. Notice on top of that, I also threw in an extra framework, right? This was a chapter I didn't put in the book. Actually, it was a chapter. It was in the book, and then I pulled it out because it didn't make sense in the book. And that chapter later became Traffic Secrets, by the way. But I took that chapter, so it was like, here's the audiobook, but then there's this other thing you can't get anywhere else. This is the only place to get it on this planet, and it's this bonus chapter, right? Or think about this bonus framework, this bonus training, this bonus thing that's not available anywhere. Right? Now people are like, oh, like this is so cool. I want the audiobook, but the other thing I can't get anywhere, I have to get it, right? And now more than half people said yes, right? So now I was going from giving away a free book, paying $7.95 for a free book, to more than half of the people giving me an extra $37. You see the power in that? Now, this next little picture here, this is from Dean Hall, and this is a couple of years ago. Dean's a great marketer over in the UK, and I've been in my inner circle for 5 or 6 years now. And again, I tell people all the time, you have to do an order form bump. This is free money. Like, if you hate money, don't do it. But otherwise, you need to do an order form bump. Anyway, I'm not going to read the whole testimony. He was talking about stats on his new funnel. But then the last one, look halfway down here, he said, now the biggest lesson of all is I've never done it before was an order form bump. Holy crap, LOL. I'm guessing Russell will say, I told you so, ha ha ha. So initially I didn't have one, and I decided I wanted to add one. So all I did was remove the bonus. I was giving you the $197 upsell and made that a $17 order form bump. So he took one of the bonus frameworks in his upsell, put it out, made an order form bump. Right now it's converting at 26%. It's like free money, haha. So get one in ASAP if you don't have one. I'm going to try putting up the prices to $27 and see if it'll increase customer value. Anyway, so this is the thing I want you guys to understand. Like, this is literally free money. If you're like, well, I don't know how to do, I can't think of a framework, I'll talk about some ideas here in a minute, but literally you can put anything here. Like just having an offer here, okay? I always think like, hey, here's the framework I'm selling. What's a byproduct? Because that's the easiest no-brainers. That's the Tic Tac offer where you're like, oh yeah, I want that really quick, right? Okay, but literally you can put anything here, okay? In fact, show the next slide. How many of you guys know Billy Jean? Billy Jean's one of my buddies, super good marketer, and he texted me this, I think in November. He was like, hey man, I did an order form bump for nothing. I'm like, well, you didn't sell, like no price? He's like, no, I literally sold nothing. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, check it out. So he sent me a picture of it. It said, so he's selling his product, and this is the picture. It said, yes, I'd also like to add nothing to my order for one-time payment of $9.95. Okay, he said, yep, you read that right. We did in 2018, and now it's back by popular demand. For less than $10, you can get immediate access to absolutely nothing, LOL. Why? Because you already bought everything, so there's nothing left to sell you. Once you purchase nothing at the discounted rate of $9.95, you'll receive nothing but an email confirming you purchased nothing. Nothing is just a lifestyle. Nothing isn't just a state of mind. Nothing is nothing. He gets order form up. He showed me that. I was like, is this a joke? He's like, no, dude. Not only is it not a joke, he said right now 3.2% of the people who come to this page are buying nothing for $10. Okay? Like, this is insane. So even if you put nothing here, 3% of the people are still going to give you money for that. Okay? So you have to have something. You have to have an order form bump. If you have any funnel that doesn't have an order form bump, like, you are literally insane. Okay? I don't care what you're selling. You always have to have an order form bump, because even if you're selling nothing, 3.5% of people will give you money for it. Okay, you have to have something here. So worst case scenario, put in nothing. Best case scenario, put in framework byproduct. And anything in between is good too. Okay, so that's kind of why, because there are people like, well, I can't think of a framework byproduct, Russell, I can't do an order form bump. I don't care. Like, sign a picture of yourself and put it on there, the order form bump, if that's what it takes. Just put something there because I guarantee somebody will buy it. A percentage of people always will. 3.5% of people were buying nothing from Billie Jean. Okay? Okay, does that make sense? Are you guys sold on the order form bumps? They're so simple. They're so easy, and I don't want you guys to get stressed about them. Okay, so let's pull up the one-pager. So here is the one-pager down below. And your assignment today is simple, right? Yesterday, you focused on getting the first sales page done. How many of you guys got it done? Or mostly done? You got your headlines, your videos, and like, it may be like horrible, right? Horrendous, horrific, whatever the word is. But it's done, right? If not, go and do it. Just do it. Even if you put in like fake words, like you should buy Russell's thing because he's really, really funny or whatever. Like just finish the whole thing. Okay, we can go back and tweak it and change it, make it better later, but just get it done. Just do it, right? So hopefully you got that done. The one piece we didn't do yesterday was plugging in the copy for the order form bump. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. Okay, so this assignment literally should take you guys like 5 minutes today. It's very, very simple, very easy. Okay, so first thing you do is come and watch this video. This is a 5-minute 47-second video. That's how long it took me to do this like 3 times. So like it's literally a 2-minute homework assignment today. It's so simple, it's so easy. Other than just thinking like, what could my offer be? Okay, so you scroll up a little bit. You'll see here's a little framework picture of what we're kind of creating. And I put an example here of the .com Secrets book, the original one, so you can see it. Like this is an example of the audiobook. So it just gives you an idea of an example of copy, how we structured it, how we phrased it. So you can take yours and just kind of tweak this if you want to. Okay. The next question is like, well, how do I create a framework byproduct, Russell? Like it makes sense if you have a book, you have an audiobook, but what other things can I do? So I made a list of just a bunch of different ideas. Okay. So number 1, we said audiobook, but it could be any kind of audio file, right? So you have the audiobook, you read the book, or it could be an interview, right? Maybe it's like, okay, I don't have the audiobook, but maybe I found somebody who's really successful, something I interviewed him, right? One really good example, my friend Jason Fladlin did this. I saw him do it on a webinar. He was selling this webinar, teaching people how to use funnels for e-commerce, right? And he called me, said, who's the number 1 person in ClickFunnels right now that had the biggest e-commerce funnel? And at the time it was Trey Llewellyn. Okay, so of all the 100,000 plus ClickFunnels members, Trey had the biggest e-com funnel at the time. So Jason called up Trey and was like, hey, Trey, can I pick your brain on an interview? I want to interview you for this product. And Trey's like, sure, man, no problem at all. And then it was really cool because Jason's like, send me your wire info. I want to send you $5,000 for the consultation. And Trey's like, no, man, we can just get in the call. It's totally cool. And Jason's like, no, like, you understand, if you just get on a call with me and record it, like, that's just like a podcast. There's nothing special or powerful. He's like, I want to wire you $5,000, so now I have a story. So now when I talk about what the offer is, I'm not saying, do you want my interview with Trey Llewellyn? I can say, I found the number 1 e-commerce seller in all of ClickFunnels. I wired him $5,000. In fact, here's a picture of the wire, right? I wired him $5,000 to get the gold from him, and I'm going to give that to you for free. Or for $27, right? Now you took the value of this thing, instead of being $27 or $37, the value is you spent $5,000 for this thing. They want the same information, it would cost them $5,000 to get it, but you're giving it to them at just $27 or just $37, right? So who could you interview that's related to your product, right? Do you have somebody else who's done this framework? Do you have somebody, obviously this is your framework you figured out, but do you have success stories of students who've done it you can interview? Do you have somebody somebody who's famous who's done it you can interview? Could you pay them, hire them for consulting, like whatever it is, and record it, and now you've got this thing that can become your order form bump, okay? And some of you guys thinking like, well, no one's gonna like pay for an interview, okay? The very first funnel that I ever did that did $1 million in sales was literally an interview with a guy. It was a guy who wrote a book. I read this book. It was called The 12-Month Millionaire. I was like, this book is insane. I called him on the phone. I emailed him first. I asked him if I could interview him. He said, sure. So he let me jump on the phone. I interviewed him for 3 hours on a Saturday. And when I got done, I had half my questions answered. And so we did it again the next Saturday for 3 more hours. Okay, it was a 6-hour call with this guy who had made over $100 million selling supplements through direct mail. And the call was fascinating. I remember I got the call, and I was like, this is so cool. And I kept it on my desktop for like 2 years. Just on my computer. Like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I interviewed this dude. It was amazing, but like, I don't know. And so I sat there for 2 years. And then I was trying to figure out, like, what's my next funnel? What's my next offer going to be? What do I have? And I was looking around. I was like, oh, I interviewed that dude. Maybe that could be an offer. We created that, put it as the product. We launched it. And it was the first product I ever sold that did over $1 million. And it was an interview with the dude that literally I recorded on my Radio Shack tape player. Okay, like it was horrible quality, but that was the very first thing I ever did. So interviews have a ton of value if you position it right, okay? So you have an audiobook or go and interview somebody, right? That is a byproduct of your framework, okay? Here's the framework I learned from so-and-so, right? Do you have a mentor you learned something from? Call your mentor. Okay, my upsell for Perfect Webinar Secrets, one of the upsells is literally I went back to all my mentors who I learned speaking from, and I interviewed them each for an hour, walking them through the part that I learned from them. I interviewed Ted Thomas on how he did his trial close. I interviewed Armin Warren on the stack. I interviewed John Childers on how he does his Childer chunks, right? Like I interviewed Myron Golden. Like I interviewed the people who I learned pieces from and went deeper and had them teach the thing that I was trying to show people in the framework. So do you have a mentor that taught you this? Do an interview with the mentor, and then that's the order for bump, right? Hey, for an extra $27, the person who taught me this framework, I actually had a chance to sit on the phone with them for 3 hours or for an hour and a half and pick their brain on stuff. I promise not to share it with anybody, but if you're interested, he's agreed to allow you to have it for just $27. Click here if you want to add it to your order, right? They already know what the framework is. Now you're like, hey, I got the secret recording of a meeting with my mentor for an extra $27. That's Tic Tacs. I want that too. Yeah, put it in the cart. I want it too. Right? So interviews, okay? So audio files are simple, okay? Number 2 are videos, okay? Videotape yourself behind the scenes, right? As you're creating the framework, as you're talking about it, just an extra video of you, like a bonus training, like, hey, here's me doing the training here, but let me show you how this works for a specific type of business, for a specific type of person, or whatever, right? Interview somebody on video, like same kind of concepts here, okay? Just switching it from audio format to video format, okay? The third one here is written word, okay? For years, what my order form bumps were just the transcripts of the thing I was selling. That was it. I would sell the audio, my audio course, like when I did the 6-hour interview with Vince James. I sold the audio course. Guess what the order form bump was? Do you want the transcripts for an extra $27? That was it. Okay? So you take your audio of this program, right, and you can send it to Temi.com is what I use, or Rev.com is great. You put it in there, upload it, and for like $10, $15, they'll transcribe the entire thing. You clean it up a little bit, and now you got the transcripts. Right? And there's some people, like 20, 30% people who love transcripts. They like to have them so they can read along as they're going. So it becomes a perfect order form bump. It's the byproduct what you have. You have the audio or the video. The transcripts are an amazing byproduct. Okay? So you got transcripts. You got reports. You can write a bonus report. Right? That goes deep on a certain subject, a certain part of your framework, right? So reports. You can take different content, like it says content/idea curation. So you're curating ideas, right? So let's just say, let's say my framework here that I'm teaching is how to do webinars. I could curate, order for one could be like, I found 30 of my favorite webinars. I transcribed them all. If you want the transcripts of my 30 favorite webinars, click down below to add this to your cart. Who would say no to that? If you came to me to learn webinars, I'm like, here's my favorite webinars. I got them all transcribed. You want transcripts? Here you go. Boom. Right? Or it's like someone bought a split testing book from you, right? So here's my split test, and then the curation idea here, the order form bump is like, hey, this book's to teach you how to split test, but I went and found 300 of my favorite split test winners, and I curated them all together in this report. If you want it, click down below, and I'll give you all these case studies and swipe files and samples and things like that. Okay, so curating ideas, grabbing ideas from tons of places and putting them together becomes an amazing order form bump. Okay, compiled interviews, right? Instead of interviewing one person, interview 5 people, interview 10 experts, get 5 people on a round table and record it. Okay, right now, as time I'm recording this, Clubhouse is like the hottest app in the world. And all it is a bunch of people sitting in a room talking about a topic. Now, Clubhouse has rules, you can't record it and stuff like that, but how hard would it be for you to set up a Zoom room, invite 5 people and say, hey guys, here's a topic of discussion, let's talk about this. And everyone talks about it for a little while, boom, you got a recording, that's an order form bump. Okay? Take your framework, find 5 other people who are applying the framework in different ways, and be like, hey, let's talk about this. What do you do different? How do you change it? Like, what are your favorite parts? And get everyone talking, boom. An hour later, you got a video file that's an amazing order form bump. Okay, this stuff doesn't have to be complicated, guys. It's just thinking outside the box, like, how can I do this to make something sexy and cool? Now, saying, here's a Zoom call of 5 people talking about my framework is boring, right? You got to make it sexy. You got to talk about it. And that's why, Jim's software with all the funnel scripts and everything is going to help make it sexy, but like figuring out what's the title of it, right? Saying, I got a Zoom call of 5 experts is boring. Saying, hey, we had a private closed-door mastermind group with 5 of the top funnel experts on this planet. I asked them the question, if this was your framework, what would you do to amplify the results? And we spent 30 minutes or 60 minutes all one-upping each other, and the ideas that came from that were gold, things I never even dreamt of. And now I'm not allowed to actually give this away as part of the product, as part of the agreement ahead of time, but if you want it right now, for $37, click on the button down below. Boom! Now you got something sexy, right? It was just simple. Okay, took you an hour to make. Okay, idea creation, compiled interviews, templates, right? Do you have templates for the thing you're doing, right? My order form bump for Perfect Webinar Secrets is the PowerPoint slides. It's the templates, right? Templates are one of the greatest order form bumps ever because everyone wants the templates, right? Templates, contracts. I talked about high-ticket secrets. Like, here's the contracts we paid the lawyers to create. We'll give them to you and you can use them, right? Boom. Swipe files, okay? Whatever you're teaching here in this process, what are swipe files? Swipe files in the marketing world, like here's ads, here's different landing pages. Swipe files in the fitness world are recipes, right? Here's all the recipes I do to actually eat well. Like, what are your version of swipe files for your market, right? Examples, case studies, things that you can compile that people help amplify their use of this framework, okay? So you got swipe files, checklists. Checklists are great. Here's my 22-step checklist to make sure you do blah, 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 right? Here's my 30-day game plan to implement the framework. Okay, these works really, really good. Even though it's .com secrets, expert secrets, and traffic secrets, I include it as one of my bonus stacks, but to make a great order form bump as well. It's like, here's the framework, okay? Boom, how'd you like my 30-day onboarding boot camp? It's gonna take you step by step what to do over 30 days to implement the thing you're about to learn. Boom, amazing order form bump, okay? And software, okay? Now this may be a little more complicated if you don't know how to make software, but if you can create software or hire someone to make software for you, software makes amazing order form bumps. Okay, so there's some ideas. This is not an extensive list. This is just a list to get the ideas in your head spinning of like, oh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And if you can't come up with any ideas at all, just sell nothing. Pull a Billie Jean, I don't care. Okay, or sell an hour of your time, or sell, like, it doesn't matter. Just put something in there. It's literally free money. Okay, and the nicest thing I told you before, like when we did this, like if I would add another upsell, it would decrease my customer value. If I had downsell, upsell, like every other way to add offers to this funnel, decrease customer happiness. They would increase money, but decrease customer happiness. When we started sliding this thing in here as order form bump, it increased money, but did not affect customer happiness at all. Okay, it's one of the most powerful things to make more money, keep your customers happier, and serve them at a higher level. Okay, that's why I love order form bumps so much. And hopefully, after me telling you this, you see why they're so powerful. Okay, all right, so scroll down a little more. Okay, so Jim made a really cool training. He's going to show you how to get copy done for the order form bump. He's going to talk through the psychology of the copy, things like that, which is important, and then obviously the resources as well. You should have a ClickFunnels account at this point, things like that. If you're like still stuck on how to do an order form bump, make a one-pager of your framework, okay? Or make a one-pager of a piece of the framework, or whatever it is. Like there's so many ways to create order form bumps, okay? All right, do you guys feel empowered? Do you feel like you could actually do this? Okay? It's not that difficult. It's not that hard. You just got to go and do it. Okay? And so what I would recommend doing is come down today, watch the video, go tweak the copy, you got it done, and then go make whatever that thing is. Okay? If you need to go interview someone for the order form bump product you just sold, do it. If you need to make a checklist, go do it. If you need to make a PDF, go do it. If you need to get transcripts done, go do it. Like whatever it is, get the product done. Because tomorrow, we're actually going to be diving, we're going to be, we've done page 1 of the funnel now, and we've got the order form bump. We're going to be skipping all the way to the members area. In fact, let me come back to where we were yesterday. I can remember, there we are. Okay, so as of today, this was done yesterday, right? Today you're adding in the order form bump. Tomorrow we're going to be jumping to the members area. And tomorrow what we're going to do, we're going to get the members area set up, and we're going to take your framework that you sold here, and we're going to put the content in the members area. We're going to take the offer stack on the homepage, and we're going to plug that into the members area as well. Okay, so we're going to set that first thing up. We're also going to take your order form bump, and we put that in the members area. There's a certain way to do that, so that way when somebody buys this, it actually unlocks it, as opposed to just giving everybody access to everything, right? So we're going to, now that we've got these two things created, tomorrow we're going to plug the content in here. Okay, so that's tomorrow, which is what, Thursday? And then Friday, we're going to start working on this, okay? And this will be Friday, and Monday we'll be focused on this, getting the content created to plug in here, and then also getting the sales video and so on and so forth. So that's kind of where we're going. So again, tomorrow we're going to start building that members area, which means today you got to get the bump and keep finishing the product. If you haven't got the product done yet, if you haven't got the bonus offers done yet, if you haven't got the order for bump product yet, like spend some time, get those things created, get the interviews done, talk to whoever you need to do, make what you need to make the videos, we record those things because we're going to start plugging them in tomorrow, okay? All right, so my team's going to drop a link down below for the one-pager today. Again, today's a really easy day. Shouldn't take too much time. So after you go and do it, then go and get the products finished, okay? Go back, finish your flagship framework, finish all the other offers in your offer stack, finish the order form bump product, start creating those, getting those things done as much as you can so we can start plugging them in tomorrow. Okay, so that's the game plan, you guys, to get this one page right here. Again, the link is down below. You can probably see it right now. Go and grab that right now. And then after you guys do the homework, make sure you jump on with the live coaches later on today. And with that said, I appreciate you guys all. Thanks so much for hanging out, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.